Hello students and welcome to SmartKidz tutorials. In this video we will be solving Go Board Science model paper for term 2 that will be coming in April 2023. This will be for 30 marks, so let's begin. So we'll begin with the instructions first, and whatever is given, that is 30 marks paper, 75 minutes, which means 1 hour and 15 minutes. The instructions give another question. Paper comprises of questions of 10 marks each. That means there will be a total of 3 questions in each main question. Each main question will carry 10 marks. That means total comes to 30. All questions are compulsory. There is no overall choice. However, internal choice has been provided in one question of 3 marks and one question of 4 marks category. You have to attempt only one option in such question. What it tries to say is that overall there are no choices, as in there's no choice between answering one whole question and another question, but internally there are choices, and like you will have a choice in between 2C. Okay, there will be 2C1 or 2 and 2C2, or like this or that, and each one is got 3 marks. Same thing will be found in case of question 3, but it will be 3D. So there is a choice in a set of questions for 4 marks each. You have been asked to answer any one option from them. Also, you have been asked to begin each question on a fresh page, and figures to the right indicate full marks. So let's begin with the first question. Question 1A, select the most appropriate alternative given below each statement and write the completed statement. This is for 1 mark. And there are 2 questions here. Complex carbohydrate is converted into dash in our small intestine. And there are options given. The answer is glucose. So complex carbohydrate is broken down or converted into glucose, okay, which is then assimilated further. Next question, food materials are broken down outside the body and absorbed in organisms like this. So the answer is mushroom yeast bread molds. Mushroom yeast bread molds, what they do is they break down food material that is outside the body. This makes it easier for them to absorb this food material. Question 1B, there is 2 marks for this. Name the following. The scientists who classified the elements on the basis of the atomic numbers. That's Henry Moseley. The element that was discovered later had properties similar to Eka boron, that is scandium. What is biological magnification? And biological magnification means, let's say for example, you have a chemical like DDT, okay, as is mentioned in your textbook. This DDT is a chemical such that when it is sprayed onto crops, the soil takes up this DDT. And this DDT this chemical is then passed on further. That is probably to the humans who will eat those crops. And it accumulates. It doesn't filter out. It accumulates. And accumulation of this chemical can lead to adverse impacts on the health. Okay. So this is referred to as biomagnification. So definition here is the phenomenon that involves progressive increase in concentration of harmful, non-biodegradable chemicals at different trophic levels in a food chain is called biological magnification. Question 1C, answer the following. It's for 3 marks, so there are 3 questions. How is the valency of an element determined? The valency of an element is determined by the number of valence electrons present in the outermost shell of its electrons. So we know that there are shells surrounding the nucleus, and in those shells there are electrons moving around. Now the outermost shell is referred to as a valence shell, and the electrons in the valence shell are referred to as valence electrons. Now, based on the number of electrons that are present in the valence electrons, we can determine what will be the valency. Valency is the combining capacity of the element. So if there are, let's say for example, we'll take for example chlorine. Now, chlorine has got 7 electrons in its outermost orbit. The electronic configuration is 2, 8, 7. So it needs 1 electron to complete that octet. Okay, and that is why 1 becomes the valency of that of chlorine atom. So that is what it tries to say, is that it depends on the number of electrons in the outermost shell to determine what is the valency of that particular element. Second question, why does the atomic size decrease down a group? New shells are added as we go down a group. When we go down a group, new shells are added. I'll show you the diagram. Just go through the answer first. This increases the distance between the outermost electrons and the nucleus, so the atomic size decreases. Okay, so I will be coming back to this. So I will complete this third question first, and then we'll go and little bit go in details about how the atomic size decreases down a group in the next slide. So atomic, we'll go answer the third question first. The atomic number of an element is 15. State its electronic configuration and the period to which it belongs. So it's 2, 8, 5. If we add them up, it comes to 15. Now, because you have this K, then L, and then M shell, so that's why we have it belongs to the third period. So the number of shells is equal to the number of period. Okay, so since there are the electrons have placed themselves in 3 shells, that is why we say it belongs to the third period. Now let's go in detail a little bit about how does the atomic size increase down a group. If you have a look here, you see the example is given down a group. You have hydrogen, lithium, sodium and potassium, and in each of them you see there is a shell being added. Okay, now you have a look. In the case of hydrogen, there is only 1 shell. Okay, in case of lithium, there are 2 shells. In case of sodium, there are 3. And in case of potassium, there are 4 shells. Okay, so what does atomic size actually refer to? It is actually referring to this, if you take the nucleus as a center, then and this the shell as a circle, then this nucleus becomes the center of that circle, and any line drawn from the center to the circumference of that circle becomes the radius. In case of this, you notice that the radius keeps on increasing down the group. Okay, because of the number of shells being added, and because the number of shells are being added, okay, the size of that atom of that element goes on increasing. In this case, it is hydrogen, lithium, sodium and potassium. If you notice this, it shows you that down a group, the atomic size increases, but across the group, the atomic size decreases. And although it is not asked for this particular paper and this question, I just address this as well. When we move across the period, okay, what happens is that the attractive forces of the nucleus increases, and that pulls the electrons closer to it, thereby shrinking the atomic radius or the atomic size. Okay, and that is why across a period, where the attractive force of the nucleus becomes stronger, the atomic size decreases. Whereas down the group, since new shells are added, the nuclear attraction weakens, and as a result of which you have larger and larger sizes with weaker forces attracting the electrons in the outermost shell or the valence shell electron. Okay. Coming to question 1b, attempt the following. This is for 4 marks. So in this question, that is question 1, there are no choices at all. Okay. Now if you there are many who ask whether the same paper will come. The same paper is not going to come, but the pattern of the paper is going to remain the same. That means in first question you are going to have 1 A, B, C and D, but there won't be any choice. And in the second you'll have A, B, C and D with a choice in C. Same way in the third question you have A, B, C and D, and there will be a choice in the D. And each question, this question 1 will be of 10 marks, question 2 of 10 marks, and question 3 will be of 10 marks. So this question D is of 4 marks. And the first question under this is this diagram is given, and we are asked to identify this A and B. It says the heart has different chambers to prevent oxygen-rich blood from mixing with the blood containing carbon dioxide. And we are asked A, name the parts labeled A and B. So you see this clearly shows this mark with red and blue. Red is the oxygenated part and blue is the deoxygenated part. Now, in case of this, you should know that the aorta receives, that means the left aorta, receives blood from the pulmonary veins. It is the only vein that brings in oxygenated blood. Rest, the remaining veins of the body, they carry deoxygenated blood. So pulmonary veins coming from the lungs pump pure blood into the left atrium, and then that blood goes into the ventricle. So this B, which is marked, is actually the left ventricle. Okay, that's the answer to A and B given here. B, why is circulation in human heart termed as double circulation? So the answer over here is given here, but in case I'll just explain it to you. See, if we begin with oxygenated blood, since we are on that topic, blood enters from the lungs into the atrium, moves to the ventricles, and then is pumped out to the rest of the body. Fine. Then deoxygenated blood comes from the inferior vena cava and superior vena cava and inferior vena cava into the right atrium, and that goes to the right ventricle, and then is pushed to the lungs. So you see, and from the lungs it gets purified, and once again it comes back into the lung, into the heart before being pushed out. So the same blood is coming to this heart twice in its cycle. Deoxygenated blood comes from different parts of the body into this that gets pumped to the lungs. Okay, lungs purify them, and that same blood is now sent back into the heart to be supplied to the rest of the body. Because this same blood enters the heart twice, and that's why we say that human heart is termed as double circulation. So here is given members have a double circulatory system. This means during a single cycle, the blood goes twice in the heart. C, what is the purpose of sending blood to the kidney for filtration? Now, blood contains nitrogenous waste, excess salts, and even some toxins. Toxins could be in the form of something that we eat or consume, like even the medicines that we take or the syrups that we take become toxins. So this and if we consume alcohol and so forth. So blood carries is a medium through which all this waste is carried around. This waste has to be removed, okay, either in the form of solid or liquid. When it comes to liquid, the liquid waste is removed or processed by kidney. So the blood flows to the kidneys, and the kidneys filter the blood from all this nitrogenous waste and then this excess salts and toxins. And whatever waste is there is removed as urine. The cleared up blood or cleaned up blood, you can say, is then recirculated back. Okay, so that is what happens here. Question 1D2. State two functions of bile juice in the digestion of food. So, two functions are there. Makes the acidic food coming from the stomach alkaline so that the pancreatic enzymes can act on it. When in the stomach, the food is acted on by the gastric juice that has hydrochloric acid, which is an acid. So this acidic food then enters the small intestine. But as it enters the small intestine, some processing is taking place, wherein the acidic food is or acidic content a partially digested food is converted to alkaline or made alkaline, because the enzymes which are there from of pancreas aren't able to act on in the acidic medium. They can only work in the alkaline. Alkaline means basic medium. Okay, and hence they do this job. Now, bile salts also break the fats present in the food into small globules, making it easy for the enzymes to act and digest. So we consume oil through various sources. Okay, certain things get converted into fats as well. Okay, now these fats cannot be acted directly or broken down into smaller molecules by these enzymes. So these bile salts, they help to break this big fat uh, molecules of fats into smaller globules. Okay, small molecules, making it easier for these enzymes to do their work, to act on them and to digest them and to process them into smaller, simpler molecules that can be stored further or maybe used further for various requirements of the body. So with this we complete question 1, that is we complete 10 marks of paper. This question 2, so this will again comprise of 10 marks of paper. We begin with question 2A, which is for 1 mark. It says match the examples of what happens in nature from column A with the phenomenon of light from column B. In column A we are given twinkling of stars, rainbow formation, and in column B we are given dispersion of light, scattering of light, and refraction of light. Now, twinkling of light is refraction of light, and rainbow formation is dispersion of light. Now, what is the difference between refraction and dispersion, you will say? So, the difference between the two is that dispersion is the ability to separate different colors of light. Okay, so you see the rainbow formation. Okay, it's in different colors. It's actually coming from white light. White light is then fragmented or dispersed into the colors of the rainbow, which is violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. On the other hand, refraction means bending of light in a material. When light moves from one medium to another, the speed of the light begins to vary. That means in a solid medium, the speed of light will be slow. Then in case of air, the speed of light will be faster. In water, it will be slower as compared to air. Because it moves from one medium to another, the speed of light varies in every medium, whether it is air, whether it is solid, whether it is liquid. Okay, and because of this variation, the variation in speed, that's why you have this bending of light, which we term as refraction. Question 1B, name the following for 1 mark. The trees for which Amrita Devi Bishnoi and others sacrificed their lives. That's for the Kejari trees. Question 2B, 1B. Ancient water harvesting structures found in Himachal Pradesh. There are kuls. Second question. Why should we conserve forests and wildlife? There are many reasons you can give, but if you just want to give the reasons that are more obvious and that are mentioned in the text, we can give these. To prevent loss of ecological stability, to obtain medicine, woods, fruits, etc., to promote economical, social growth. See, you don't have to write exactly word to word here, as long as whatever you write, okay, comes in the context of what it is about. So, like for example, why should we conserve forests and wildlife? So we are having this climate change. Everybody is talking about this climate change. If we cut down this forest and we don't conserve wildlife, there will be this climate change happening, where we are supposed to have normal rainfall, we may have heavy rainfall, will be no rainfall at all. Okay, places which have never experienced snowfall are experiencing snowfall and extreme weathers. All this is happening because of this forest. This forest makes sure that we have protection from unwanted, undesirable effects of the climate and environment. That is, even it protects the ozone layer. Okay, because if this plants are not there, they will not be able to give out oxygen. With oxygen also forms a protective layer, okay, and gets converted from O2 to O3 to form an ozone layer protecting us from these UV rays, harmful UV rays which cause skin cancer. On the other hand, see, if you don't have this wildlife, they will not be, the trophic levels will become unbalanced. And if they become unbalanced, then our life will become unbalanced. Okay. Many things are intricately balanced more than we know them. Okay. Things in the sea or on the land, if they go haywire, then our life on planet Earth will be affected. Question 2C. A student sitting at the back bench in a classroom has difficulty reading from the blackboard. What could be his defect of vision? So this is for 3 marks. This question 2C. Now there will be a choice here, and we'll look at the other choice as well. So this is the first choice. Now it says there is a boy sitting on the back bench in a class, and he has difficulty in a student is sitting here and has difficulty in reading from the blackboard. That means the student has a difficulty in reading object or seeing objects on some written matter at some distance. Okay, so probably that means that this person or the student should be can see distance which are close by, but can't see materials or objects which are at some distance, suffering from myopia, which we call as short-sightedness, myopia or short-sightedness. That means you can see objects which are close by, which like reading a book, but can't see things at a distance very clearly, maybe blurred. What are the 2 possible causes of this defect? Excessive curvature of the eye lens, elongation of the eyeball. So this is the defect that is caused. We are asked to explain the method of correcting this defect with the eyeball. So first you have to give the diagram where it shows what is the defect. So this is defect. See, if you notice over here, the object, okay, is the rays are meeting in front of the retina, as a result of which you can't see things which are far away. So this is corrected using a concave lens over here, and you see now the focus is at the retina. Choice, again it's for 3 marks. 25-year-old Raja is unable to distinctly see the words printed on a newspaper. So exactly, this is the exact opposite of what we read. In the previous case, the student could not see the matter that is written on the board, which is at distance. But it must be obvious that the student can see what is written in a book. Here, this 25-year-old Raja can't read a newspaper, but he might be able to see something which is at a distance, maybe on a board or something. So, suffers from hypometropia or long-sightedness. Okay, and why is this caused? Okay, focal length of the eye lens is too long, the eyeball has become too small. Okay, you look over here, the focus is beyond the retina, so can see things which are at a distance very clearly, but can't see things which are close by. And how is this defect corrected? By using convex lens like this. You see now the focus is at the retina. This is for 3 marks, and there's a choice. You can answer either this one or the one before that. Question 2D, attempt the following for 4 marks. First question under that, what is catenation? Just carbon atoms combining with each other to form long chain carbon atoms, which gives rise to many number of compounds. That is called catenation. So unique ability to form bonds with other atoms of carbon, giving rise to large molecules. This property is called catenation. So for 1 mark, state one point of difference between ethane and ethyne with reference to its bonding between the carbon atoms. Now be careful. The moment you see one point of difference between ethane and ethyne, don't just jump on it. Okay? See with what the question says in complete. It says with reference to its bonding only. So we are told to distinguish or differentiate between ethane and ethyne only with respect to its bonding. That's it, nothing more. So ethane we know is made up of single bond. It's an alkane. And ethyne on the other end is an alkyne, which means there is a triple bond between carbon atoms. So that is the only difference we are asked. If you give anything else, even though it is correct, the difference between ethane and ethyne, it will be marked wrong because you specifically asked for bonding between carbon atoms. Next question, why are vegetable oils considered a healthier option than animal fats for cooking? Because they have a higher amount of unsaturated fatty acids, which are considered healthy. On the other hand, animal fats have higher amount of saturated fatty acids, which are considered to be harmful to health. Fourth question, observe the structural formula given below and answer the following question. So you see this is 1, 2, 3. So, and there is a double bond. So this is propene. Okay, and we are asked to find out, is it a saturated or unsaturated? Saturated hydrocarbon means having only single bond. Okay, and unsaturated hydrocarbon means there may be one or more than one double or triple bond. Can have even double and triple bond in the same hydrocarbon. Okay, but if it has double or triple or double and triple, then it is considered unsaturated. Now this has one double bond, that means it is a unsaturated hydrocarbon. Okay. So with this we complete question 2. So which means we have completed 20 marks paper. Question 3a, observe the correlation in the first pair and complete the second pair, is for 1 mark. First one is carboxylic acid. The formula is, the functional group is COOH, and for alcohol it is OH. Here the formula is given for general formula for alkane, CnH2n plus 2. This is for alkyne, CnH2n minus 2. Question 3b is for 2 marks. Answer the following. A ray of light while traveling from water to air medium, the direction of propagation of light in the air medium changes. State the term used to express the ratio of speed of light in one medium to another medium. That is a refractive index. Why does a ray of light changes in direction when it travels from one medium to another? So that's what we discussed with respect to refraction. That is, the speed of light varies from one medium to another, and that is why it changes direction. Okay. Question 3b2. Arrange the following so as to make a 3-step food chain. So we have tiger, grass, and deer. So we begin with the producer, which is grass, which produces its own food using sunlight. And grass is consumed by the primary consumer, which is deer, and deer is consumed by the secondary consumer, which is tiger. The next question says name the secondary consumer. So tiger is the secondary consumer in this food chain. Question 3c is for 3 marks. Answer the following. How is acquired trait different from inherited trait? Mention only one point of difference. Okay. Now, acquired trait is something that we gain during our lifetime. Because we have gained it during our lifetime, we will not be able to pass it on to our future generation. For example, the ability to play a particular instrument, like for example, learning to play the piano or learning to play the guitar. Just because we know to do it doesn't mean that we will be able to pass on the same to our next generation. Okay, so that those are acquired traits, whereas inherited traits are those which we got from our ancestors and which we will pass on to our future generations or to our progeny. That is the difference between acquired traits and inherited traits. So for example, hair color, type of hair, whether it is straight hair or curly hair, the type of eyes, black eyes, brown eyes, various different types of colored eyes. Okay, all this will be, whether we have a particular type of ailment that is running in the family, like blood pressure. Okay, so this really passed on from one generation to another. But something that we have, so let's say if we have got some hurt during our lifetime, okay, because of which we maybe see we got a mark left behind because of that cut, or maybe a burn, that won't be passed down to the next generation. Okay, so that ends with you. Those are some acquired traits that you get along the way as you live your life. Question second one: the wing of a bat and the wing of a bird is considered as analogous characteristics and not a homologous characteristic. Justify. So wing of a bat and wing of a bird are used for the same thing, that is for flying. The function is the same, but they do not have the same origin, and as a result of which they are considered to be as analogous characteristic and not homologous. In case of homologous characteristics, you do not have the same function, but you have the same origin. You come from the same origin, but you don't have the same structure of function. Okay, so this is an analogous because they may have the same function, that is for flying, wing of a bat and a wing of a bird, but they do not share the same origin. Question 3C3. If we crossbreed all dominant pea plant with purebred dwarf recessive pea plant, we will get plants of F1 generation. If we now self-cross the pea plants of F1 generation, we obtain pea plants of F2 generation. What do the plants of F1 generation look like? And state the ratio of all tall to dwarf plants in the F2 generation. So I have done this over here to show you what exactly will happen. So we have pure tall and pure dwarf having capital D, capital T, so homozygous dominant, and here we have small t, which is homozygous recessive. So during gamete segregation, we get a capital T and we get a small t, and when they combine, we get a capital T and a small t. Okay, so this genotypically it is capital T and small t, but phenotypically it is a tall plant. So when we carry out selfing with gametes which have with plants which have gametes capital T small t and capital T small t, as you've seen in this cross over here. Okay, see what we get. We get capital T, which is a tall plant. Then we have capital T small t, which is a tall plant. Again, we get a capital T small t, which is a small part, and we get small t, a dwarf plant. Three of them are tall plants, and one of them is a dwarf plant, and that is why we have that 3:1 ratio. But this is in the second generation. In the first generation, we get only tall plants. So the answer to the first one, third A, is tall, and to the third B, the question is 3:1 ratio. Okay. Question 3D. This is the final question, and here is a choice over here. Once again, the first choice we'll deal with is for 4 marks. It says draw a neat diagram to show the formation of image in a concave mirror where an object is placed between a pole and the focus of the mirror. Here you go. This is the diagram when the object is placed between the pole and the focus of the mirror. This is when the object is over here. That's when we get the image that is formed over here. That is a virtual and erect image. So let's just say enlarged, virtual and erect. Second question. And the third one is a problem. A concave mirror of focal length 15 centimeter forms an image of a candle light kept at a distance of 10 centimeter from the mirror. Find the position of the candle. What it's trying to say is find the image of the candle that is formed. So we need to find the image of the candle. We are given the focal length of the mirror. So concave mirror is like this. See, okay. So the focus over here is here, which means the focal length is this part. From P to F is focal length. Okay. Now this focal length, okay, is on the left hand side. So if I've drawn over here also a small thing. If we consider this as a coordinate axis, okay, then this side will become negative x-axis, this side will become positive. So this side become negative x-axis, this side become positive. Now because the focal length is on this line, it will be part of negative x-axis, and that is why this 15 centimeters we have to take it as minus 15 centimeter. Same thing goes with the object. It says the object is 10 centimeters from the mirror. I think the object is also on the left hand side of this mirror. If it is on the left hand side of the mirror, that means the distance of the object from that mirror becomes negative. So negative 10. And that's why we've taken u as minus 10 centimeters. So we use this formula 1 upon f equal to 1 upon v to 1 upon u. And upon solving, we get image is equal to 30 centimeters positive. Now image is for 30 centimeter. When will anything be positive on the x-axis? When it falls on this side, right? So that means the image that is formed is somewhere like this. And if it is falling here, that means the distance of the image from the mirror becomes positive, and that is where. So position of the candle is 30 centimeter behind that mirror, concave mirror. Okay, so that's it. So you have you probably have 2 marks for this diagram, 1 mark for this question and 1 mark for answering this. The next choice, similar thing, but instead of a mirror, you have lens. So even in the exam, you'll have a choice between a mirror and a lens. If you want, you can familiarize yourself, make yourself as an expert in mirrors and study only about mirrors and come. Or you can study only about lenses and come, but whichever diagram that you choose, you will have to answer the respects below, answer the questions below that with respect to either lenses or mirrors. So you have this do as directed, question 4D, 4 marks. Draw any diagram to show the formation of an image in a convex lens where an object is placed beyond 2f1. You say the image that is formed is real, inverted, and it is also diminished. That's what we say the size and nature of the image. And we are given a problem. A lighted candle is placed at 0.05 meters from convex lens of focal length 10 centimeters. So there is a difference here in the metric system. This is meters, centimeter. We'll convert it into centimeters. So the conversion is this way: 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So if you want to convert this into hundreds into centimeters, we need to multiply this 0.005 into 100. That will give us 5 centimeters. Why is it negative? The reason it is negative, the object is negative because it is on this side. Okay, the object is on the left hand side, which means negative x-axis. Why is the focal length positive? Unlike in case of the mirror, we saw the focal length was also negative because it was on the left hand side. Here the focal length is not on. The focal length is here where it meets. Okay, so on the right hand side. So as a result of which it is going to be positive. So 10 centimeters positive, negative 5 centimeters. We asked to find the image. Here is the solution, and we get the image is negative 10 centimeter. And negative 10 centimeters shows us that the image is virtual, being on the same side of the lens, that is here. Okay, image is formed at a distance of 10 centimeters. Okay, so with this we come to an end of this particular paper. I hope you found it easy to follow. The question paper, if you need, you can find it at this link. Okay, and I've also put down the link in the description box. You can click and go directly to the link and download that paper and see for yourself. You can use it for reference. So if you've liked watching this video, do not forget to hit the like button. Share this video with as many friends and classmates as possible so they can also benefit like you have. Do not forget to subscribe because many more videos will be coming up leading to your final exams. So thank you for watching and keep watching more such videos. Thank you.